Welcome back to Motivation Monday. Let me tell you, today I have such a good video for you that I could end the channel right now. This is sort of the conclusion, I guess, of everything that I've learned regarding motivation and sort of success from my entire life up until now. This video contains the sort of knowledge and experience that I have from practical things such as my military training, my time as an athlete and a coach, and from various parts of psychology and firefighting training. The psychology parts are that basically there's an older idea of creating a specified vision that Jordan Peterson sort of popularized as well as further developed, where you are supposed to sort of find out what do you want in life and what should you do for that to become a reality. I have taken it several steps further and I've added the psychology that comes from Sense of Coherence, and the psychology that came from Viktor Frankl, a survivor from the Holocaust, as well as some other philosophers. Other than that, I have realized the absolutely insane potency of using cognitive dissonance to your advantage. Other than that, it just piles on and on. I have learned from sort of some of the best people when it comes to social psychology, as well as how to reshape your mind in order to reshape your life. And here we have it, the mission statement. I have done one for myself for a specific purpose and a context, just so that I can show you the process and what it should contain. Here's the thing, for this to work, you actually have to do it. You can't just sit and think, you actually have to do this entire thing and write it out, discuss it with someone that you trust, and then revise it. And I know that sounds like a lot of work, but if you do, I promise you, with all of my knowledge, all of my experience, and all of the things that I've learned, if you do this method, it will literally change your life. I guarantee it. Money back guarantee. If you do this and you sort of do it properly and follow it for 2 years and it doesn't work, I'll give you $1,000. I'll do it. So, let's get right into it. Mission statement. Objective: to become the biggest name in psychology in this generation. Table of contents. Specified and operationalized objective, desired result. This is part of the what. Number 2, reason and motivation. This is part of the why. Number 3, method and process. Number 4, risk and consequence analysis. Number 5, precondition analysis. Number 6, revision to update 1 through 5. Number 7, contingency. So here we have the why, the what, the how, and the what if. These why, what, and how is part of the sense of coherence model made by Antonovsky. And if you can figure these out, you will be guaranteed success. It is actually a stress model that is used to sort of understand what gets in our way, but let's flip it, let's make it the positive. Of course, the what if, the risk and consequence analysis, and contingency comes from work practice, work psychology, firefighting training, and military training. So let's get into specified and operationalized objective, desired result, and end state. Here's the thing, we have to be more specific than to become the biggest name in psychology in this generation. What does that mean? What does that entail? How do we specify and operationalize this? We're going to use the SMART method, which comes from psychology. Specific, by association, social media, and by an idea. And what does that mean? That means that by association, when someone mentions a psychologist or psychology, I will be the first name they think of. Social media will mean that the biggest psychology name on social media. And then idea, because in order to be the biggest name in psychology of a generation, you have to have the biggest or the most prevalent ideas, like Freud. So how do we measure it? Well, by qualitative testing, we ask people in, the future, name a psychologist. And then, of course, we have the number of views and followers. Is it achievable? Yes. Is it relevant? Yes. And time bound? Well, before the end of 2039. And this then translates into, by 2040, I will be who people most often think of when you talk about psychologists. I will have the most followers on social media. My ideas will be the most distinguished in the field between 1980 and 2060. Then we get into number 2, reason and motivation. And this is one of the things that are so important to actually write out, because it might change. And here's the thing, you gotta be honest. In the end of this video, I will show you photos of how the mission statement looks after I've revised it. A. I very much enjoy sharing my thoughts and ideas to anyone that likes or benefits from hearing them. B. I feel like I'm meant to do it and probably therefore obliged to do it. C. It would greatly benefit me professionally and socially and economically. D. The process of it is a lot of fun. And then the star, if not, that is something that Jordan Peterson added to his model. What will happen if I don't do this? Well, for me, I will regret not trying, not taking the shot, and living for the rest of my life wondering what if. Number 3, method and process. How do we do it? Well, here's my first draft. Create high quality content for a regular schedule. B. Do public presentations. C. Interact with everyone all of the time. Now you will see this will be updated in the revised version. Number 4. Risks and consequence analysis. A. What happens if I fail? B. What happens if I don't want it anymore? C. What happens if I get banned on platforms? D. What happens if I get stalkers? E. What happens if it is just a waste of time? I'm gonna fill it out and then we can see at the end. This is just the first draft. Then we get to the part that I like the most, that is my sort of addition to it from my collective experience and learning about these sort of things for many years now. Precondition analysis. A. What's your previous experience and skill? For me, it is all of the sports I've done as an athlete and a trainer. I've run a business, a gym, and other things. I have experience and skill from work, from construction, industrial work, firefighting, medical work, and the military. I have a deep knowledge regarding all sorts of psychology. What are the requirements for this to be successful? Well, I would need excellent speaking ability, excellent presentation ability, excellent work ethic, and a unique knowledge and understanding of the subjects that I'm going to talk about. What are some beneficial factors that will help this mission to succeed? Having community, friends, and other social connections is a huge boon. Looks actually matters a lot in this context because of the halo effect. What frame do I have? Sort of where is your mind? What do you think about yourself? How do you present yourself? What frame do you put on any given situation, including your own? And tons and tons and tons of focus. Then we go to areas of priority. Speaking ability, presentation ability, frame, focus, and social connections. These are the areas that I should be aiming to improve and prepare to increase the precondition. And then we get to E. Improvements. Practice speaking faster and clear. Practice presentations, presence, being present and vivid, and bring a lot of energy to presentations. Develop an indestructible frame. I learned this from Owen Cook. You have to have a frame that is untouchable, that will not change regardless of what situation or context that you find yourself in. Because once you reach higher than you might feel that you are appropriate for, things will come crashing down, and you as well. But if you have an indestructible frame, the context will never affect you. Reprogram both RAS, unconscious mind, and cognitive mind via manifestation, visualizing, affirmations, expression, and action. The cognitive dissonance part means that you will try to change your attitude or action or something else based on those other things, which means that if you go around saying something enough, you will start to believe it. If you act in a certain way, your mind and your unconscious mind and your nervous system will change. I've talked about this in various other videos. And then make friends with people with similar interests. Having a sort of group of friends with shared visions and ideas is wildly beneficial. Then we get to number 6, the revision. It is empty now. I'm going to show it in pictures in the last part of the video. And then, of course, we have the contingency. And the thing that immediately popped into my mind was something that I had written on the wall where in my gym that I ran, and that was my sort of thing that I lived by, and that is do or die, no contingency, no plan B. And that is what you hear in every sort of motivational video. Of course, in a firefighting sense and a military sense, this is extremely stupid. So we always have a contingency plan. In this case, not much happens if I fail. I can just find another hobby, or I can get a normal job. No worries. That is the entire sort of mission statement. This is the most potent idea and thing that you can do to change your life. Figure out what you want and then do a serious mission statement. Figure out your why, figure out your, what why, how, and what if. Have a fantastic Monday, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.